theme song.
If you have not heard our theme song before, it's done by a nice little band who I always forget the name of. Sorry, guys. They don't watch our show anyway, so
No, it's okay.
there's no harm there.
No harm, no fuss.
It's one of the things I might get to one of these days is remembering the name of that band.
One of these days.
Anyway, thank you for joining us today for Ringside Review. I'm joined today by the Super Mark himself, Seth Holbrook.
Hey guys. Thank you. And I'm here always with me is the one I told you, the Ayatollah of I told you so, Mike McBride.
All right, okay. Well, we've got some stuff to talk about tonight.
Let's talk about some
in
stuff.
case you're watching this in the not so distant future or in the distant future, who cares? The date is March 19th, 2018, and we just witnessed the ultimate deletion. Seth, would you like to do the honors of describing to the uninformed what exactly the ultimate deletion was?
It's so hard to describe. It's so beautiful, and it's train wreck of a scene. Let's see. Okay. It started a while back in TNA with, total nonstop action wrestling.
I didn't mean you to go by that far back.
Okay,
I just meant
sorry.
like tonight's match. What is it?
Woken Matt Hardy went up against Bray Wyatt in a ultimate deletion match. What that means is Bray Wyatt would wrestle Matt Hardy at the Hardy compound, aka where he lives, and it would be, I guess, supposed to be live, but it looks,
I didn't watch the exact beginning of this match.
I watched the whole thing.
It's been all over the internet how it was recorded weeks ago.
Yeah.
But I did not myself see the exact start of this match.
It was interesting. It wasn't as good as his other past performances, but it was a way to, I guess, end this feud between the two, or maybe we'll bring out Sister Abigail at WrestleMania. Who knows?
Can I give you a spoiler of what's going to happen?
Go for it. Like we already know.
And I want you to, what is up with my hair tonight? It's just weird tonight.
It's perfect.
I'm going to get a haircut later. I'm going to give you a spoiler of what's going to happen between Bray and Matt and what exactly their next move is in WWE. Bray Wyatt is going to appear sometime in the next couple of weeks, not mention anything of what happened, and just wrestle like he normally wrestles. And same goes for Matt Hardy. They're going to act like nothing happened, and they're both probably going to be in the Andre Battle Royal. That's it. That's
God dang, and you know what? The bad part is you are so right. It's true. Continuity is not a thing that WWE likes to.
They're just going to be like, oh, hey, remember that thing?
Oh, yeah, I remember that thing. Remember you were kind of crazy? Yeah, I did. I'm sorry. Let's go back and wrestle.
Before I give my opinion of what I thought of the ultimate deletion, I'm going to take a sip of Powerade out of my cup that features WWE legends.
Real legends.
And I think they'd share the same opinion I'm about to have. Although I'd hate to speak for them. That's
no, you can. You can.
No, I really can't. The ultimate deletion was possibly the worst thing I've ever seen. The absolute worst thing. It had no redeemable value whatsoever. It took a big shit on wrestling.
Yeah.
In general. It was god awful. It was stupid. What really pushed it over the edge was the graveyard Scooby-Doo spot.
Oh, jeez.
That was... I don't like to use the word retarded because I really feel like it is a word. It's not a nice word.
It's not a nice word, but this wasn't a nice...
And it's really derogatory toward the mentally handicapped. And as I always like to say, you should never make fun of anyone that has a condition that they can't help. Now, whether or not they're acting or saying stupid things, they're fair game. But if they have a condition they can't help, Like people like to make fun of Greg Abbott, our governor, for being in a wheelchair. I always say that's off limits as far as I'm concerned because he can't help being in a wheelchair. You can make fun of his politics and his idiotic beliefs, but just leave the handicap out of it.
Absolutely.
So I hate to use the word retarded, but this was retarded. They did a Scooby-Doo spot on a WWE show. My mind is still blown over that. This was insulting. I don't even know why I watch wrestling. To be honest with you, that's what it's come down to. I watched this tonight, and I really have to ask the question, why do I even watch wrestling?
It's true, folks.
My wife hates the fact that I watch wrestling. She always leaves the room when I put Raw on, or she tells the children to leave the room. It's funny. She tells the children not to watch as if it's some horrific thing that's coming on television. And then she tells them, avert your eyes, children. I'm not exaggerating. This is exactly her feelings toward professional wrestling. And I always have to explain it to her. It's like, no. Yeah, it's predetermined. The guys are really taking bumps. And it's just like...
It's entertainment.
It's fun, and you just have to get it. And there's a history and a prestige to it. I don't know anymore. I don't know why. I don't know why I watch professional wrestling. And I know some of the people are going to be out there and defend this by saying, "Oh, it's just like a TV show. It's like you watch NCIS or whatever. It's scripted. There's a story." Well, if that's the case, I wouldn't watch WWE because they have some of the worst script writing. The only thing that's been giving it a pass for so long is that it's been professional wrestling, and that used to mean something. Professional wrestling used to be special. After tonight, I don't know. I don't even know if I still want to do this show, quite frankly. That's how bad the Ultimate Deletion was. I have sat through snake charmer matches with former WWE World Champion Jinder Mahal and former World Heavyweight Champion the Great Khali. I've sat through that. I've sat through Mae Young giving birth to a hand. I've sat through, what's another really retarded thing? That word's out there now. It's out in the ether. It's the toothpaste has left the bottle. We can't put it back in. So I'm going to just throw around that word at least for the next few minutes because that's the way the Ultimate Deletion makes me feel. I've sat through lots of stupid things in the WWE. What was the other? Oh.
There's so many of them.
Beaver Cleavage. That was the other one.
Oh, God. That was such a horrible...
I've sat through many, many stupid things. This probably topped them all. Just because it was presented as a real contest between two competitors. If it was just them hamming it up and putting on a show, putting on a play, putting on those TV shows, that would have been okay.
You want to kind of remind me of...
This was supposed to be real.
It was like those very beginning of, like you said, a Scooby-Doo, right? Like the very beginning of a Scooby-Doo cartoon with special guest Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt. And then it goes on to the episode. That's what this felt like when it was started and it began from just the first frame.
This was... It was the worst. It was just the absolute worst thing. And it made me embarrassed to be a wrestling fan. I hope nobody out there saw that knows me and knows I like wrestling. I really pray to God that nobody out there that knows me personally that saw that and put two and two together and realized that I'm a wrestling fan. And that was so idiotic. That was just embarrassing. All the things, the negative things about wrestling, my wife says, they were all justified tonight. They were all completely and totally justified tonight. I cannot say anything. When my wife says, "Oh, wrestling is stupid," I can't defend it anymore. Not after tonight. What's the point of watching? I don't get it. It's bullshit like this that ruins wrestling. You know, there is an audience. I'll give you a heads up. There is an audience for wrestling out there.
Yeah. They're
called UFC fans. You know why UFC fans have abandoned wrestling? Because of horse shit like this. This is insulting. Bray Wyatt should be ashamed. Matt Hardy should be ashamed. Kevin Dunn in the booth should be ashamed. Vince McMahon should be. Triple H should be goddamn ashamed of this. He's supposed to be the one there to tell Vince not to do shit like this. Where was he? This is why. This is why Triple H should not have a match at WrestleMania every year, because he's so distracted in his own match that he can't pay attention and say, well, no, we shouldn't do that. That's stupid. Don't do this.
Yeah.
This is embarrassing. Yeah, and let me just tell you something. I've admitted on this show before, I wasn't the biggest fan of Broken Matt Hardy when he first came out, but he won me over. It won me over. I was like, okay, I get it now. It's ridiculous, but it's you kind of gave it a pass because it was still TNA, and TNA was just, well,
this was the big thing that everybody talked about.
TNA was desperate for anything entertaining, so yes, they could do stupid stuff like this and get away with it just because it's TNA. This was Lucha Underground bullshit right here. I'm shaking. I'm just so.
Oh, you got
mad.
You got Jim Cornette.
I'm just so.
You're vibrating.
I'm so mad.
Got the shakes. Jim Cornette does the exact same way.
This was embarrassing. They should strike this from the record.
It's non-canon.
This is the funny thing. I keep thinking about all the fans out there who watch this tonight and are going to defend it, and it makes me so angry. These are the same marks who, when I go to indie shows and I just sit there and I just seethe in my seat because I'm surrounded by toothless hillbilly ignoramuses who are just dumb and stupid and yelling. I told you the story about that show I went to. And what's her name? The wrestler. She was in the Ruthless Aggression era. Not Victoria, but Victoria. That's who it was. Yeah, it's Victoria. Somebody kept yelling Stevie Richards at her because they thought she was Ivory.
Yeah.
Hey, Stevie Richards. I always thought, poor Victoria. She probably doesn't understand why the hell people are screaming Stevie Richards. She wasn't in right to censor.
Never was.
These people are idiots. Idiots. And these are the same idiots that are going to defend this. I know what they're going to say. They're going to say, well, we watch, what's like an act like Supergirl or Arrow or
Arrow's good.
One of these shows, and they're like, it's just the same as that. That's what they use, because that's what they say about Lucha Underground. It's just the same as that.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not, idiot. It's wrestling. It's supposed to be taken serious. I know wrestling's fake. I've known it since I was 10, 11. I don't know how
Since
long.
it first came out and you watched it, okay, this is scripted.
I know wrestling's fake. That's not new to me. I hate to even use the word fake. It's predetermined.
No, but this right here was fake. This
was cartoonish.
This was
an embarrassment.
This was on the Cartoon Network late at night. This was Adult Swim. That's what this was.
It wasn't even funny. It was supposed to be comedy taken seriously. It was such a weird, misguided thing. And let me just, okay, so anyway, back to what I was saying. I was one of the ones who wasn't sold on Broken Matt Hardy at first, but then they won me over. And then when him and Jeff came and made their surprise appearance at WrestleMania last year, I was excited. The first thing I thought was, I want to see him and Bray Wyatt one-on-one. I want to see not just him, I want to see Broken Matt Hardy versus Bray Wyatt.
And we kept talking about it.
He's going to be the guy.
Every other
It takes
episode.
Crazy to kill crazy, and that's what Matt Hardy was going to be. He was going to be the crazy nut. And then they announced the Ultimate Deletion was going to be at the Hardy compound a couple of weeks ago. It's like, okay, this could be good. It could have been good. If they would have just treated it seriously, it could have been okay. But no, they had to do Scooby-Doo spots where, like Benny Hill speeding up in the graveyard. Because
I just don't get it. I mean, remember,
I mentioned Benny Hill's name yesterday when I went over to a friend's house. And I resurrected the ghost of his
Benny
influence.
Hill.
Yes,
but it was just like, remember that one time when it was the Wyatt clan versus like a New Day.
I never saw that. I heard about that.
That was really good. It was very Grindhouse. The way they did the film, I guess the film editor.
See, I heard that was stupid as well.
But let me just defend that one.
Here's the thing.
because it was
Go
actually
ahead.
kind of trying to be spooky because they were trying to go with the deletion movies with Matt and Jeff Hardy but
Yeah, they were trying to rip off.
They were trying to rip them off. They were. But it just, when you got to see the 3 against 3, there was no fast editing. There was no campy music. There was no weird anything. It was just them like, okay, we're here in the woods. There's hillbillies in here. We shouldn't be here. Let's get out of here. And then they had to fight their way out. And yes, it was predetermined. Yes, it was staged. Yes, there was different camera angles. But they still try to make it into like a Grindhouse 70s feel to it. And that's what I liked about that one. With this one,
Okay. So
it was bad.
I was trying to compare this to the House of Horrors match from last year. And the thing is, I only watched that match once. That one didn't make me as angry, so it couldn't have been as bad as this one.
No, the House of Horror was actually the best one out of all those type of.
Didn't it win worst match of the year last year?
Yep.
So I'm interested to see how they'll score this match. Yeah, I was embarrassed to be a wrestling fan tonight, to be quite honest. I hope nobody I know personally that doesn't already like wrestling watch that. I really hope, because honestly, I don't even know what's the point of watching wrestling. I'm like Kylo Ren at this point. Sometimes you just gotta let the past die. Kill it if you have to.
Yep.
That's all I keep thinking. Maybe we should just close up shop. Was the ultimate delete? Did it delete Ringside Review?
Oh God, it might have. No, we can't. We have to continue the fight, man. There's still some other good matches out there, like SmackDown. Come on.
We have a special guest in the house we haven't even got to.
Oh, I know. We were so angry.
15 minutes now. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome, it was just announced tonight, future Hall of Famer Mark Henry to the show as our guest. Oh, please. Thank you, Mark.
Mark, thank you for giving us some stability and some to come back to earth.
Mark Henry is the smartest man. And we understand his microphone's not on. That's why we can't hear him.
All right.
We understand. Well, I'll speak for you, Mark, just like I speak for all the legends, apparently. You got out at the right time. He retired right before Ultimate Deletion. Good for him.
Good for him.
He washed his hands. I wasn't there for that.
Nope, don't need this.
It
It was so bad.
all the other events in wrestling that happened this past week, I just erased them. I was like,
He deleted them.
We needed.
And here's the bad part. I wonder what was going through the crowd's mind at the American Airlines Center this tonight, because they were in Dallas tonight. And I thought about
there's a reason they put it on last as the main event, so they didn't have to cut back and hear the reaction from the crowd. Could you imagine the announcers going, okay, that was interesting. By the way, speaking of announcers, can we do something about Corey Graves' hair?
Oh, God. I know he put frost tips in it. Frost tips.
It looks
in his Ace Ventura hair.
I wonder if I can get a good picture of Corey Graves'.
God. It looks terrible, man.
Let's just change the subject.
Please.
It is.
Please.
It's going to make me just die real quick. Can we talk? Okay, so I mentioned it in our little recap. Floyd Mayweather. I don't know if you can do this. He's like registered to be an ultimate
an MMA fighter.
MMA fighter.
Yeah,
I don't know that you needed to register. I guess you do. I guess that means he's going to start his training.
Yes.
And I guess it's building up to
going against
a
Conor
match
McGregor.
between. I honestly don't know why he's doing this. This is just his kind of. I mean, seriously, I'm so flustered right now. I don't even know what to even think anymore.
I don't understand why he's doing it either. It's like you're going in MMA. You do realize Conor can do what he wants to do now.
That's not even it, though. What the point I'm trying to make is that have you noticed that guys who I was gonna say wrestle, who fight in the UFC don't make any money?
Yeah.
I mean, they make some money. I mean, but like compared to like boxing or even wrestling.
True.
That was the big rumor about Conor McGregor, is that he was eventually. That's why Jim Ross said he's eventually going to get to the WWE, because there's no money to be made in UFC, which is weird because isn't UFC this like a huge business? Weren't they like the most popular sport there for a while? What happened?
They were for a while. It's just,
you know what happened? They need to restructure their rules. Mm-hmm. They really do. It's just, It's too many matches being over in 15 seconds.
Well, what can you do about it?
All of it is just guys climbing on top of each other, and it's just they need to change up the rules to where it's less
less on the ground and more standing.
Less on the ground, more on standing. Just
you want the old UFC is what you want.
or just rope breaks.
Rope break.
Just like they do in wrestling. If somebody gets to the cage, somebody gets to the cage, they can they have to let them go. Something needs to be done because the way the rules are right now, it's just they just
touch gloves,
kills it,
and they grapple and they fall to the ground, hold each other and embrace. Yes, I know.
I mean, you look at some of the best UFC fights of all time. You have to go back to the 90s.
When it started.
There's a couple from the past 10, 15 years, but I mean, honestly,
there was no
all
weight
the good
classes.
ones are. You'll have to go back to Hoist Gracie and Dan Severn and all that.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, so there's that. Other news. I'm trying not to think about the Ultimate Legion.
It's so hard.
Other news. CM Punk. Did we talk about he's going? I think we talked about this.
We talked about it last week, but yes, he's going back to UFC. He's got a second fight coming up.
Yeah, in Chicago. So
in Chicago.
I think was it last week the pictures were released. The ones I used it on the on our Facebook page.
Yeah, him smiling
of the creepy smile.
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't know what was up with that.
Oh
that
God,
so
I don't
disturbing.
know either. It's very
was he doing that on purpose?
I think he was. I think he was.
Were those photoshopped? Are these like real? Hold on, I'll put up the pictures.
Put up the pictures.
Are these real? I mean, what is going on with his upper lip?
I don't know. It could be, I don't know, CGI.
Yeah,
like they
same thing in Superman.
Like Superman? Oh God,
League.
don't remind me. Oh,
Yeah.
I finally saw that today. Why, folks? I know. Why do I beat myself up? Why am I a sadist? I don't know.
Are we done? Can we go home?
No, we got to keep going. No, we got to keep on through.
Well, I think we've touched on everything. We talked with Floyd and Mark Henry, and tonight's. We got to do the Raw recap. Okay, so we've had a new rule for the Raw recap.
Yes,
we have been doing for the past couple of shows 5 minutes and less. We've challenged Seth, but then I was thinking about it. I was thinking 5 minutes is a long time, and Raw is already long enough. So I was thinking. Let's recap a minute for every hour of Raw. Let's see if Seth can recap tonight's Raw in 3 minutes or less. I'm gonna get a timer. Are you ready? Do you need a drink or anything?
Yes, hold on. Did I just say 3 minutes? 3 minute warning.
No, I'm glad. I thought of that same reference too.
Uncle Eric. See, and it's times like this where I wonder. Wouldn't have been so bad if Eric Bischoff might have won.
So
because of this,
Mark Henry is going to help us out here. He's kind of a smaller guy, but
he's the strongest man in the world.
He's the strongest man in the world. So maybe he'll be able to hold up my phone, and so we'll get this started. So I'm gonna start like this. All right, are you ready, Seth?
Hit it.
So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, for your listening and viewing pleasure, for those of you who had the fortunate advantage in life of not watching Raw tonight,
lucky.
For the lucky people out there who didn't want to watch Raw, or excuse me, watch. I can't even talk. Seth is going to recap everything that happened on Raw to you in 3 minutes or less. We're going to time him starting now.
Okay, we're in Dallas, Texas. The show starts off with Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle tells the WWE audience why Roman Reigns is still suspended and Brock Lesnar may not show up. And then all of a sudden, the WWE Universe has to find a tag team partner for Braun Strowman. Even if he won the tag team battle royale last Monday, it's still a tag team nonetheless, so he needs a partner. As Kurt Angle continues, Roman Reigns shows up, and he's promising he's not leaving until Brock Lesnar shows up. So U.S. Marshals show up, a.k.a. local talent, to either escort him out or to arrest him. And now he gets... His Mandarin rights said to him, and then he attacks 3 U.S. Marshals, which means he's going to go to jail for a long time. But apparently, since he's handcuffed, this is the opportunity for Brock Lesnar to come out of nowhere and destroy him and suplex him, and he gets left out on a gurney. Then while he's on a gurney, he's going to get destroyed again because Brock Lesnar comes back and suplexes him over and over. Now it's over. Next, we have a video package of Asuka versus Alexa Bliss, the women's champion on Raw. Alexa Bliss versus Asuka actually does happen. Alexa Bliss apologizes to the world that she didn't say it sooner to be making fun of Nia Jax's body shaming. Body shaming's not cool. Asuka wins by countout. Nia Jax comes out of nowhere and pretty much destroys Mickie James, throws her head through the side of the ring, and then they both run out chasing Alexa. So Alexa Bliss talks to the GM and demands, hey, I want action. And he goes, you're right. There should be action. You're the champion. You should be an icon for women. You should not body shame and make fun of anybody. So you will have your match. But it's going to be at WrestleMania against Nia Jax. So next we have Braun Strowman showing up. He's interrupted by Cesaro and Sheamus. This is an impromptu match with Cesaro. He defeats Cesaro. Next, we've got Queen Rebecca playing the piano with Woken Matt Hardy. Of course, that's what that is. So it's just a promo of the Matt Hardy compound. Next, we have back from commercial. We have the Revival versus Titus Worldwide. Revival wins, and now they declare themselves. They are going to be the first tag team to win the Andre the Giant Battle Battle Royale at WrestleMania. This makes no sense. Then we have our own here, Mark Henry, who's in the Hall of Fame. Good job, buddy. Tag team, Bayley and Sasha. Absolute members, Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. I don't know why I say Amber. Now, Bayley and Sasha are in the ring giving each other's grievances. One can't trust the other. Then they come out and they have a fight, and Absolution wins, and then they still can't trust each other. Next, we have a John Cena segment wanting answers from The Undertaker about accepting his challenge at WrestleMania. Who cares? Kane comes out of nowhere and chokeslams him. Next, we have a six-man tag team between Balor Club and The Miz and Miztourage. There's a cut scene of Matt Hardy talking to in the compound, asking for guidance from his George Washington, his pet giraffe. Then we come back to Finn Balor wins, and The Miz and the Miztourage gang gets beat up by the Balor Club. Then Seth comes in and saves and gives everybody a curb stomp, including The Miz. Next, we have Woken Matt Hardy talking to his old friend Skarsgård on the Lake of Reincarnation. After that, we find out next week that we're going to have Cena versus Old Man Kane. After that is the Ultimate Deletion, and it was over with.
Okay, there you go. That was the Raw recap from Seth.
And I looked at it, and even though the clock's still going, it was 2 minutes and 55 seconds.
Thank you. Special thank you to Mark Henry for helping us out there.
That's what he does.
That's what he does. That's what I do.
That's what I do.
Mark Henry was great, wasn't he?
Oh, man. Remember, he was in the Nation of Domination.
His World Heavyweight Championship run was
so
great.
good.
That was such a big mark for Mark.
Oh, remember that one time when he faked about he was going to retire with John Cena? Oh, that was so good.
Wearing that suit, the salmon,
I love
salmon-colored suit.
So good.
A lot of people are demanding on Twitter that he wear that to his Hall of Fame induction.
I agree.
Is it too soon for Mark Henry to be inducted?
I think Mark Henry should have had his own, instead of the last minute to get one more person.
Yeah.
I think he should have been one of the top three for like next year, or be like the main,
like the headliner.
The headliner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Mark Henry has done, I'm sorry to interrupt. Just Mark Henry's done a lot of stuff in the WWE, not just off that, but offside WWE. Yes, he was in the Olympics. He was a strongman competition. He had many years, and he was Sexual Chocolate. He was in the Nation of Domination with The Rock, Farouk, the Hall of Pain, and of course Mae Young's, lover and everything. You had so many generations of what he's done. He should. It feels like it's being rushed. He should have had his own headliner instead of the last minute thing.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I was thinking how he's in there before Christian.
Yeah, I know.
And Christian more or less retired before him.
Yeah. I think, honestly, what they should have done is given it to either Bam Bam or to Vader.
Yeah, Vader probably. And this is the truth. It's an ugly truth, but it's the truth. They always do. They have their checklist they go off. They used to do female, old school WCW guy. Attitude Era guy. Then they do worldwide, like a global guy. And then there's the black guy who has to get in.
Yep.
And then usually a tag team. Is there a tag team this year?
Yeah, it's Dudley Boys.
Oh, that's right. The Dudley Boys are the tag team this year.
They're the tag team, not only
and
that,
then, of course,
worldwide.
the obligatory celebrity who is Kid Rock this year.
Oh, God. Get Kid Rock out and just get somebody else.
Speaking of Kid Rock, in honor of Kid Rock going in, we're going to have the nominations later tonight, actually, not today, tonight. We're going to crown the white trashiest wrestler of all time.
Ooh, we in Texas, too. It's going to be good.
It's going to be something else.
It's going to be a champagne jam.
It is. I need to get some pictures up to go with these.
No,
pictures.
you do that.
I think. Yeah. I mean, I already have my choice.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some.
Just saying, folks. This deletion would really put us into bad funk. It was really bad. I mean, I just don't get.
Why don't we just do the tweet spot? Let's just do the tweet.
You know,
spot.
well, let's just go with the tweet spot. There you go.
I can't even think of what music to play with the tweet spot.
Oh, easy. Oh, play Mark Henry's song.
Oh, okay, there we go. Oh, not just any Mark Henry song.
The Mark Henry song.
Yes.
Ladies, get ready.
Let's see if it works. I gotta put my headphones on, see if it works.
Okay.
I'm so sad. This is like one of the saddest moments
Don't
ever.
worry, WrestleMania Shinsuke. Oh, that's another thing that reminds me. We'll talk about that later.
What's that?
AJ Styles got injured at a house show.
But how serious is that injury?
Well, they said they had to walk him off, and they don't know what's going on. They did do the X sign, and he was walked
They're just
out.
fans of DX is all that means.
Okay, is that what it means?
Yeah,
well,
that's what that means.
I would just shelf him, make sure he doesn't have to wrestle until WrestleMania.
Yeah.
This is what we want. Please don't take away Shinsuke and AJ from us.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and do everybody's favorite spot. It is the tweet spot, of course, so enjoy. I'm not even going to turn the mics off. I'm just so... I at this point, I'd probably leave them off if I... Anyway, so here it goes. The most I've ever listened to this song.
Same here.
It's getting kind of weird.
It's kind of weird because he's making sense.
All right, we're back. Thank you for that.
And we're back. Thank you, Mark, as always.
That was nice. That was
You were
nice.
smart to leave at this time.
Well, Seth, are you
Ready for WrestleMania?
no?
Yeah.
Are you ready for? What was it you were going to say right before we?
Oh, that was it. That AJ Styles. That
that he
he
got
was
hurt.
treated. He's backstage right now because both shows, Raw and SmackDown, are in Dallas. So,
You know, you probably saw it in some of the tweets we just showed,
yeah.
but they talked about the what chants.
Yes.
And it seemed to have been more noticeable tonight. And the fact they were in Dallas is really embarrassing and just
Well, come on.
makes
It's like
me,
Stone Cold, Central, dude. Well,
yeah,
Texas
but
is.
just aren't we all in agreement that the what chant needs to stop?
Yes, it does. Yes, I agree.
Aren't we? I mean, and the fact that Dallas did it, it's just it makes me angry.
Well, it's just as bad when you go up north or the Midwest, and when they see a match they don't like, they just start chanting CM Punk.
That's not as bad because they're not doing it while people are trying to cut promos. At least now they've sort of condensed it to heels.
Yeah.
Because for a time there it was for everybody, but they've done. Okay, well, Seth.
Yo.
Let's look back on history. On this day.
On this day, I see clearly. Sorry, a little Aiden English there.
On this day, 23 years ago, WCW presented Uncensored. Now, Uncensored, for those of you who aren't aware, Uncensored, it was a really good idea in theory, but they never really got it.
In theory, communism
going,
works.
Where it was just a card full of unsanctioned matches. It was like it was a precursor to Extreme Rules a little bit. Except Extreme, that's the thing that always bothered me about Extreme Rules. It had rules to it. You know what I mean? Except they were extreme, I guess. I know.
And to your question last week, I forgot about that. Backlash is the pay-per-view after WrestleMania.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. So anyway, Uncensored had a bunch of kind of weird, and it's funny because I think I read somewhere it was heavily censored.
Yeah, it was
Uncensored, like. People cuss and it's like censored or something like that.
Oh, it was that. You had nudity. You had partial nudity, everything.
Anyway, 23 years ago, WCW presented Uncensored. This was a special Uncensored because it was the debut of the Renegade. The Renegade in WCW was Hulk Hogan's ultimate surprise. They kept hyping it up like it was Ultimate Warrior. And then it was just a Renegade knock. I wonder if I can get a picture of the Renegade up here real quick.
Oh, God, I remember that.
He was just some dude that had an R on his face, and it was such. Could you imagine being a fan of WCW back in '95? I think this was.
No.
And then they keep teasing you that the Ultimate Warrior is going to come, and then it's just this dude with an R on his face.
That is so bad.
They were trying to trick people. It was so shameless. It was shameless. The other big thing about this match was it was the King of the Road match was that same night with Dustin Rhodes and Blacktop Bully, who I believe was Smash and Demolition. If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it was Smash from Demolition.
And the Repo Man.
The Repo Man.
It was Blacktop Bully in this match. And if you've never seen this match, go watch. I believe this was 90. This had to be 90.
Yes.
Go do yourself a favor. Watch. It's on the WWE Network. And I know if you're watching this, you most likely have the WWE Network. It might be on YouTube. I don't know. Go look up Uncensored 95. I believe it's the first match on the card, or actually on the show. Watch it. It is just. I was going to say it's a train wreck, but it's on a truck.
It's on a truck.
Truck's bad, really.
It's on a truck bed, and while they're driving, they're having a match in the cab in the back of the truck.
And I believe Dustin got fired for this because he bladed, and they told him not to blade.
They told him not to blade, yeah.
And that's what led him to go into WWF and becoming Goldust. Think about that. Think about that chain of events.
Mind you, this was like a location match, kind of like how the Ultimate Deletion was, but it was like an eagle eye camera view, like a helicopter was following them, and then
they
there was like
kind of treated it kind of seriously. It was
they did.
The Ultimate Deletion gives that match a lot more credit now.
Yes.
So 18 years ago, Uncensored again happened. This time it was the final WCW Uncensored. They went out with a bang though, because this was the night of the Yapapai Indian strap match.
Yapapaya.
My favorite Hogan promo ever. Maybe my favorite promo ever. And I say, Strap Master Jimmy Hart, give me strap number 1 for maximum strapation. Hogan kept doing that. That's on YouTube. Look up the Yapapai Indian strap match, and you see the Hogan promo. And what they've done is they've taken both his promos and they put it together. Usually, he goes, and then I'll say, no. The best part is when he's talking about Jimmy Hart being in the ambulance. And he goes,
Yeah.
So I was talking to Jimmy in the slow rolling coffin, and he looked up at me, and in his voice it started gurgling, Yapapai.
Yeah, papaya.
Like everybody's home, like, what's he talking about apple pies for?
You should see OSW's version of this too. It's really good. Giving a shout out to them how they did it. Just
Stop putting other podcasts over.
they're
put
just
ours
funny.
over. Come on.
Our podcast is amazing.
Yapapai.
Yeah, papaya.
It's such. I used to know it by heart. I've forgotten it now, but I used to know it by heart. This Ric Flair, the steel cage in San Diego wasn't the answer. But we needed like Yapapai, and the match was just shit.
It was
match
pure
itself
shit.
Was just really
It was
terrible.
terrible.
He kind of gave WWE credit for not putting them in the main event at WrestleMania. It's like, if this is what we were gonna get.
Ooh.
No, but Yapapai, Indian strap.
Yapapai.
I need you to do the belt, the strap. Give me Indian death strap number 2. Whatever.
Oh
I
man.
think didn't Botchamania use that the number 1 or something?
Yeah,
Somebody used it.
Botchamania did,
they
yeah.
used it for a while. That was great. 17 years ago, WCW Nitro aired with Bischoff announcing that the following week would be the Night of Champions. They did not know at the time that was going to be the final Nitro, but they did announce that's what that would be. I think this might have been. Was this or was it last week? Was AJ Styles' one and only appearance on Nitro? I think it might have been last week.
I think it was last. No, it was last week because you said that. Yeah.
Later in the evening, they taped the final Thunder ever. Do you have any fond memories of Thunder at all? I do have one. This is a video game, the Thunder video game.
Okay.
They came out with.
As in watching the show, I was like,
because they had a battle royal mode.
Yeah, they did.
And I was like, this was before WWE had a home console game with an actual battle.
Yeah.
I think maybe Attitude or
No Mercy?
Warzone had one, but you can only be like one wrestler at a time. It was really good. This one you could have multiple wrestlers in the ring at a time, which was cool.
The only thing I remember about Thunder is like, oh, you're copying SmackDown. It's blue, just like you guys.
Thunder came out first.
Oh, Thunder did.
Yeah, Thunder
oh,
did.
wow.
Just nobody watched. Well, it was popular for a while. Then SmackDown came out and killed it.
Yeah, but then again, those were the days, man. I mean, every day you had wrestling. They had a wrestling show, whether it was WWE at that time, WWF, and then WCW. Every day there was a wrestling show at night.
Freaking Ultimate Deletion matches either.
No, they didn't. They say that for the pay-per-views.
The worst they ever got was the Dungeon of Doom. That was the worst it ever got.
But you had Kevin Sullivan, so it didn't matter.
They started showing on the network.
I know.
WCW Worldwide. What was their Saturday show?
It was just Saturday night. WCW Saturday night.
It was like Worldwide or something like that. I forget them. I used to love that just because it was
Worldwide Wrestling.
It was their Saturday show. That
it came on TBS.
They'd have mid-carders against jobbers, and it was just so lovely. It was it was
because it opened up like a hanger, like the.
It was a fun show you could just have in the background on and ignore, but
And it was on for 2 hours.
Nice. I miss it. Really.
I miss those days.
17 years ago, over on the other side, WWF, Edge and Christian on Raw won the tag titles from the Hardy Boys, only to lose them later in the night to the Dudley Boys.
Ooh.
This was 2001, and WWE was just batshit crazy at the time. This was also the debuts of Rhino and Spike Dudley. Raven also defeated Big Show for the Hardcore title this night. 16 years ago, William Regal defeated Diamond Dallas Page for the European title on SmackDown. On this night, also, Rico made his debut. Rico, of course, being the hairstylist of Chuck and Billy.
Yeah.
I liked how he wasn't the manager. He was the hairstylist.
The hairstylist.
Of course, Rico is famous for
his yell?
winning American Gladiator Season 1. It's funny, the two things that came out of American Gladiators for WWE, Mike Adamle is probably more memorable for his Jeff Harvey.
Yeah,
that guy was bad. I don't think he ever got a real fair shot after that because he just stumbled right out of the gate.
But I remember Rico said something he yells out loud,
Oh, he goes, God damn it, where the fuck is Jeff?
Jeff,
Yeah.
where the fuck? And he's supposed to have a spot where he throws it, where Jeff comes out of nowhere and pushes him and he falls through a table.
Yeah.
So.
Watch your profanity.
With that
11
hairstyle.
years ago, we talked about this last week, I think, or it might have been the week before. Bobby Lashley becomes the first man to break out of the Master Lock. Chris Masters, of course, had the gimmick where he'd have wrestlers, sometimes Hall of Famers and legends, go out there and he'd put them in the Master Lock and they couldn't break free. Bobby Lashley was getting pushed to the moon.
That's right.
And was the first man to break out of it. And then, what was that, 11 years later, he's back, maybe.
Oh, he will be after WrestleMania. I say they're going to keep him Raw after WrestleMania.
I'm thinking Braun Strowman's tag team partner, maybe. I was thinking that, or maybe Big Cass might be his tag team partner. Because I don't see any reason why he would pick Elias.
Because everyone's talking about Elias because of their Symphony of Destruction match, and they've always got something going.
That's the way I was thinking of it too. Then I was thinking, well, wait a minute, Braun gets to choose.
Yeah.
Well, this is what I would like personally, and this is why I'm not popular amongst marks. I would like to see Braun versus Cesaro and Sheamus, or as the Bar, as WWE doesn't like to call them, at WrestleMania, and just have the Bar just beat Braun Strowman, because it makes sense, 2 against 1.
And they are the best.
Sheamus is a former multi-time world champion. Cesaro's supposed to be this great in the ring. He's a great performer.
He's great. He's amazing.
He's tag team champion multiple times. It makes sense that they would beat Braun Strowman.
Yeah,
it's two against one. Anyway, that's what I would do. 7 years ago, Ring of Honor presented Manhattan Mayhem 4. This was during the Jim Cornette era. It's a great era. Eddie Edwards defeated Roderick Strong for the Ring of Honor World title.
Yep.
5 years ago, TNA taped Hard Justice, a pay-per-view that wouldn't air until 3.5 months later. I don't know how they got away with this 5 years ago. They definitely couldn't get. I was going to say they couldn't get away with this nowadays, but then this was.
Why? What was the reasoning why they couldn't? And then 3 months later,
they just were planning stuff in ahead. That's been TNA, Global Force, whatever you want to call it. That's been their problem for years. Is they do too much tape stuff. They really do. Like all that stuff leading up to what was their big pay-per-view?
Bound for Glory.
Yeah. All the stuff leading up to Bound for Glory was like taped like 3 months in advance or something like that. It's ridiculous.
Jeez.
A pay-per-view taped in advance is ridiculous. Pay-per-views should be live. They really should.
There's no question about it. They should be live.
But there's been a history in wrestling of them not going live.
Well,
we want to wish a happy birthday to a few people.
Okay.
Which is funny because first of all, I'd like to wish a happy. I wore his dog tag. I might start doing this if I start finding more wrestlers' dog tags. Because for a while there, I wasn't necessarily collecting dog tags.
Yeah.
But I was searching for the ones that had pieces of fabric on there from the T-shirts and whatever. And
whose birthday?
So there's a happy birthday to you, Evan Bourne, aka Matt Seidel.
Evan Bourne.
Which is funny because when I was looking up birthdays today, he's listed twice as Evan and Matt. It's kind of funny. Like they can't make up their mind.
Okay.
Who they want to wish him, who they want him to be named as. And of course, I think the big birthday today, Mrs. CM Punk, AJ Lee.
Yep.
Has a birthday today. So we want to say a big happy birthday to AJ Lee.
Happy birthday, AJ.
Give you an early birthday gift and not nominate you for this next category. We might nominate the Renegade, though. I don't know.
Oh, man. Right. I don't know.
So tonight we are going to crown the white trashiest wrestler.
I remember.
In honor of Mark Henry tonight, we're no, I'm just kidding. We're going to crown the white trashiest wrestler of all times, brother.
And remember, when we say this, it's canon.
It's canon.
It's canon.
It's first of all, the Renegade. For being the Walmart brand Ultimate Warrior.
Walmart.
And that's pretty trashy. No, okay, let's get to a real one. Let's see. And please, Seth, please tell me if I forget any because I didn't write these down. So
okay.
I'm probably forgetting some. First, we're going to start with a big one. The Road Dogg, Jesse James.
Good one. Very good.
Very trashy.
Very.
Here's a guy who could probably easily win this Because where did his picture go? I can't find his picture. I've lost his picture, so I'm just going to show a picture of Seth. No, Jamie Noble. Because that was his gimmick.
I'm Jamie Noble.
That was his gimmick.
That was his gimmick. He wrestled in
and he wrestled before John Cena with the jorts. It was
well, his was cut off jeans. It wasn't shorts. His was cut off jeans.
Like Daisy Dukes. Is that what you're?
Well, not like that, but like to his knees, like regular. Yeah. And he would wear his what do you call it? What type of shirts are they called? Pearl snap shirts, except with the sleeves cut off.
Are you talking about wife beaters?
No, pearl snap shirts. So like it's got flannel, designs on them and everything. So yeah.
I got you. Well, let's see who's next here. I love this choice. Insane Clown Posse.
Oh, God, yes.
Insane Clown Posse.
Oh, my God.
Trashy. Would you classify them as trashy?
I classify them something way beyond that. I mean, they've gone to another level of that the word has not even been mentioned in the English language. But they've proved it. They made it.
They're pretty trashy. Sorry, Chad.
Sorry, Chad.
They're pretty trashy. How about this next guy? This guy, it's gonna be hard not to choose this guy. He might have just won it. I don't know.
Who?
Of course, I'm talking about Heath Slater.
He's got kids to feed, man. Yeah. That's not his fault.
He had a trailer at one point he lived in. By the way, I wonder what happened to the lady who played his wife.
I don't know.
Hey,
man, I can think of another one.
Okay, what's up?
Skinner?
No.
Skinner? Super Nintendo Jobbers. Or we all call it Super Nintendo.
Well,
come on, he had dip. He always had that thing. He was supposed to be like from the Everglades. He was supposed to be,
I don't know if I'd say he was trash, though.
He was supposed to be an early rendition of like Bray Wyatt.
He's more like Swamp Person.
Well, he's Swamp. That's what I was. He was, yeah.
I don't know. It's a good nomination.
Okay.
Any other ones off the top of your head you can think of?
What's the one? Booger.
Booger Bastion?
Yes.
I never really considered him white trash either.
Really?
No, he was just a fart joke come to life. Poor guy, because he wasn't like he was a
Hardcore Holly.
That's a good one. Yeah, all the Hollies, really.
All the Hollies.
Yeah.
Hardcore Holly.
Hold on. Any excuse I can get to put up Bastion Booger's picture.
Go for it. Let me think of another one.
That's a good one. Hardcore Holly.
Hardcore Holly.
That is
Come on, he was a NASCAR driver before he was. Yeah. I'm trying to think of another one.
I think I have one that's going to beat out every one of them, Seth. Probably one you wouldn't think of. I'm very excited. By the way, this is Hardcore Holly. It's a great picture of Hardcore Holly I have. So I'd like to present to you my selection for the white trashiest wrestler of all times, brother.
Who is it? Oh, I'm dying to know.
Smoky Mountain Wrestling's champion, the Dirty White Boy.
Oh, God. And his theme song was, I'm a dirty white boy. That was his theme song.
I don't think you can get any trashier than with the name alone, Dirty White Boy.
Dirty White Boy. Forget Fabulous Freebirds. Forget Hillbilly Jim.
Fabulous Freebirds seemed like I don't know, like royalty compared to Dirty White Boy.
Yes, that's what I mean. Forget about those or what were those two called? The
Beverly Brothers? What are you talking about?
No. That Hillbilly Jim.
The Godwins.
The Godwins.
How did I forget the Godwins?
The Godwins, man. Come on, you have the Godwins.
The Godwins. That's a pretty good choice. But
yeah,
I'm sticking with Dirty White Boy.
I'm going with Dirty White Boy because just the name alone, Dirty White Boy.
Yeah, he wrestled. He had like a plumber gimmick, I think, in WWE or something like that. Hopper, was it TL Hopper or something like that? I think something like.
What was the name of the? What about the trash can guy? Dumpster
Drozy.
Yeah, that was another one.
Yeah, that was a good one. But there he is. There he is in WWE. Yeah, he was white trash. I can't get over the way this guy looked. Dirty White Boy.
Dirty White Boy.
You are, congratulations, the white trashiest wrestler of all time.
It is now canon.
It is now canon. understand.
You are the dirtiest white boy ever.
I mean, you should see this picture I just
Look
put
at
up.
the picture.
Did you see that? You see the picture up right now?
Not yet.
With
It's
the one with him holding the plunger.
I can already. I remember
Yeah.
his face, so it's
Yeah.
okay.
He had like this. He
Oh,
had an early
God.
skullet.
Yeah, he
the hair-
did.
the
Like
hair
Baron
going down the
Corbin's
back.
skullet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, see, this makes up for the ultimate deletion. To me.
Oh,
This makes
God,
me feel
yeah.
better. Well, we want to thank our special guest, the world's strongest man, Mark Henry. One of the
Congratulations,
greats,
Mark.
the greatest ever. I always
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed it. I loved watching his matches, the way they booked him. His promos were great.
He was a great. Yeah, he could promo. He could talk.
He actually looked like he could really mess somebody up.
Yes.
Remember when he messed up like the tech guys that worked there.
Oh, he would
that was
destroy
great.
anybody that got in
Yeah.
his way.
The Hall of Pain. His entrance was the best. When he'd come out and he'd have his back to the camera and they'd walk out there. It's all great. All
That
good
was
stuff.
awesome. Somebody going to get.
Thank you so much for watching Ringside Review tonight. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening
Absolutely,
or day
guys.
or afternoon or evening or whatever you want to say.
Oh, is there anything
Morning.
that you want to plug?